Hi there and welcome back to Japan and to our Scandal weekend where... I don't know why I did that. Scandal weekend, where I am checking out the video for SHOUJO S, and as always, it's a reaction review. The reaction I've just done, if you want to click to see that video, then pause this. This is the review video, and click the link in the description below. It opens up a separate little YouTube player, and you can watch the reaction there, the initial reaction, if you haven't seen the video before, or if you just want to see me reacting to it for the first time. Anyway, I'm going to give you my review of it now. Now, just to point out, first of all, this is the only song of the ones that we're doing for Scandal weekend that I have already actually heard, because I did this as part of my track-by-track review of Best Scandal, having heard the two albums Best Scandal and Kiss from the Darkness all the way through, but none of the material in the middle as far as I'm aware of their career, just the beginning and the end. So what did we think of this video? Now, this was an interesting video because I really like this song for being very catchy. Like I said, it's got a great sort of layering of harmonies. I like the way that all the girls' voices seem to be used at various points brilliantly alongside each other. It's got a great shuffle. It's got a good riff. It's got just so many things making it really engaging, and a good chorus that certainly gets caught in your head. It's just a great catchy song with a lot of quality. The video is interesting because it seems to make the most of that, and I think there's both a positive and negative to it. The positive is that with all like the dance moves, with the sort of cool slow-mo stuff, with all of that, and it's got a lot of attitude the way it's delivered, I think that it really does, and this is early in their career, probably before it was really established what they were going to be. I mean, they're still obviously in the school uniform thing at the time, but it certainly feels like the director had a real idea of how they wanted to portray the song, and it works in a sort of a, if you like, a representation of what the song is. Like I said, with the dance stuff, with the attitude, with all of that, it kind of feels like it's moving in a very funky way. The way it's cut, everything bounces along with the song, accenting every beat, making sure that you really sort of feel the movement visually represented. So that's kind of good. However, I would give a counter. There's maybe a reason why, as I got through this video, I was thinking, for all that I like, there is something that's missing about this. It works as a great visualization of the song in the same way that you could... I know this is a really reductionist argument, but still, it works in the same way that you'd say that like one of those old Windows Movie Maker movie player visualizations is a good representation of a song, in that, yeah, all of the visual stuff moves and feels the song in the correct way. However, I think that, and maybe because it's early in their career, there's several factors that make it feel almost like it doesn't, however, represent Scandal as much as it represents the song. Let me explain why. And I say this obviously as someone who doesn't have as much experience with the band as many of the people who I know are going to be watching this video, but just in my own interpretation. The reason is because for a start, I mean, I was never a big fan. And like I said, one of the reasons I didn't initially listen to Scandal when it came out, they were massive. I mean, I was here when they first dropped Best Scandal, and it was a big thing. You know, it was everywhere. You could see it advertised all over the place. Certainly in the record stores. I think one of the reasons I didn't go for them is because the image of them all dressed in school outfits kind of, I didn't really take them seriously. It just kind of looked like something where it was more engineered than it was real, which of course isn't a real interpretation now, knowing more about them. In actuality, it wasn't like that at all. I know they had songs written for them and everything at the beginning of their career. However, you know, they were a genuine band, but the image I don't think helped. And looking at this now, I think I can more see that because they all kind of look identical, which is, you know, obviously a more experienced fan is going to recognize them. Obviously, you see what instruments they're playing. But other than that, if they were just standing alongside each other like they're on the corridor scene, they don't really stand out. They got the same hairstyle put on them, the same clothes. It kind of feels a little bit like the identity, which makes them so interesting now, how the individual characters of each member is much more standout, is not here in this. And plus, the whole way the performance is done with the dance moves, it's all cool and fun and everything, but the whole thing, there's so much attitude in this that it almost feels a little bit designed. It feels very much performed to camera. So it works in the way that any choreographed, designed, directed and produced thing, which is done with a real sense of knowledge of the feel and the movement of the song, does work. It works in that way. It works in a brilliantly choreographed way. It visually is a great representation of the song, and it just works like that. However, like I say, I don't feel Scandal coming across in this. I don't feel the personality of the band. We just watched, just before this, I did the video for Image. And Image came across much more to me. When I was checking out Image, that was a song where, even though it was, like I say, done in that sort of way, you know, it was very clearly directed and produced, and there was a whole thing they had to do with the acted out sections. Still, you kind of got the feeling of them coming across. You could really sort of feel their personalities being imprinted on what the video was. Whereas this one, I didn't really feel that as much. It just felt more like they were doing that thing. So I have very mixed feelings on this one. I mean, I love the song. I think it's a brilliant song. Arguably one of my favourite Scandal songs that I've heard thus far. Considering I've heard 2 albums, but there have been some songs I've really enjoyed by them, and this would be a strong contender thus far for being my favourite. And like I say, the video represents it really well in one sense, but doesn't really represent the band so much, I think, in the other sense. Then again, like I say, it's just my opinion as someone who's getting to know them after many, many years. So, as always, get in there. Tell me what you think in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe, or you can dislike if you're really upset about what I just said. And obviously, if you want to get more involved in the discussion, remember we've also got links in the description below, also to our social medias, including our Discord, where there's a lot of conversation, a lot of Scandal conversation going on a lot of the time as well, which is one of the reasons why I picked up doing this Scandal weekend. As well as there's also links to our merch page and our Patreon. Big thanks to everyone who's supporting the channel and keeping it going. Much appreciated. We're not monetized after all, so it really does help. And thank you for getting through to the end of this video. It's greatly appreciated. And so hopefully until I see you in Japan, maybe for the next Scandal video, as it's Scandal weekend, for now, ciao ciao.